Popular TV shows and even feature films have been captured with Canon DSLR cameras, but you don't need to go to film school or have a Hollywood budget to capture great HD video. In this three-part series, we're going to show you what you need to know in order to capture stunning HD video with your own Canon EOS Rebel camera. Hi, I'm Larry Becker, and I'm here with Linda Duchesne from Canon USA. We're going to walk you through major tips and tricks, as well as important settings, so that you can turn your Canon EOS Rebel camera into a powerful HD video recording device. In this video, you'll learn what you need to get started. We're also going to share some basic filming and gear tips. Then, we'll wrap up with an overview of a special type of Canon lens that you'll definitely want to know about for capturing even better video.
In the second video of this series, we'll cover more advanced features and settings for video capture. The stuff beyond the basic automatic settings, as well as some tips about how to take advantage of those settings for even better video results. Then in our third and final video in this series, we'll cover some quick and easy editing tips and give some insight on sharing your videos.
So what do you need to know to start shooting video? Let's start by looking at the absolute basics. Today, I'm using the EOS Rebel SL1 camera, but you can apply these tips to any of the current Canon EOS Rebel cameras. If your lens has an AF switch and image stabilization, make sure AF is selected and IS is set to on. This will allow the camera to autofocus and minimize camera shake. Next, put the mode dial in the green A+ position, so pretty much everything is automated. Finally, flip the power switch past the on position so it's by the movie camera icon. You've just done all you need to prepare your EOS Rebel camera to shoot movies. Just a few more quick tips and you can start recording your own videos.
First, you need to know that whenever you press the shutter button halfway, the camera will begin to focus. Next, you need to know that you start recording video when you press the movie shooting button on the back of the camera. It's the icon that looks like the back of your EOS Rebel camera, and it has a red dot beside it. As you pan, zoom, and reframe things during video recording, EOS Rebel camera models with touchscreen control will let you just touch a spot on the LCD, and that will become your primary focus point. Whether it's a person or object, even if it moves, as long as it's in the frame, it will remain as your primary focus point.
Now let's cover some shooting tips to help make your videos more interesting. The first tip is, less is more. Here's what we mean. Less movement, less zooming, and less panning will all make for better, more watchable videos. So do your best to hold the camera as still as possible, and only zoom or pan when you really need to. Using a tripod will be an asset in getting steady, sharp video. The next tip is to frame up your image a little wider than you think you should. Consider that playback will probably be on a nice big computer screen or HD TV, so you don't need to zoom quite as much. The added benefit to a wider scene is that you don't have to move the camera as much to follow any action that's happening.
Camera holding technique is a bit different when filming video as opposed to shooting still pictures. You want to do your best to cradle the camera in a way that minimizes shake, but you can't hold it like you would when looking through the viewfinder. If you have access to a tripod or a monopod, that's a great way to keep your camera even more steady. You should also pay attention to those little holes for the microphone so that you don't cover them up while you're filming. Avoid moving your hands around the camera body because microphones are very sensitive and can pick up even the slightest touch. Touching the camera will also be seen as camera movement that was suddenly stopped, or it might look like a pan that shouldn't have happened. Filming videos means your camera will be writing lots of information to your memory card very quickly. So make sure you have a Class 6 or higher SD card. And no matter how big your card is, you should know that the longest continuous single video file you can capture is up to 29 minutes 59 seconds. So for example, if you're recording in full HD using a 16 gig memory card, it'll stop recording at the 30-minute mark. Just press the movie shooting button and it'll start right back up again in segments of up to 30 minutes or until your card is filled to capacity.
There's a collection of lenses from Canon that are optimized for smooth, quiet focus during video recording. They're called STM lenses, and you'll see STM in the description of the lens, and it's even right here on the face of the lens itself. The great thing about STM lenses is that they use special technology. It's called a stepping motor drive, which means that you'll be able to maintain autofocusing during filming, and you won't hear the motor noise. Have a look at some footage that changes focus with a traditional lens. Now, with an STM lens. And you hear the difference? The STM lenses are quiet and have a very smooth focus to them.
There are currently 4 Canon STM lenses that'll fit on Canon EOS Rebel cameras. The EFS 18 to 55 mm f3.5 to 5.6 IS STM lens is a nice zoom with good performance as a general lens. It may have come with your camera, but it shouldn't be confused with the older model 18 to 55 non-STM lenses. There is also EFS 55 to 250 f4 to 5.6 IS STM. There's the EF 40 mm f2.8 STM, which is really compact and especially nice for low light filming. Just keep in mind the 40 mm lens doesn't zoom. It's what we call a prime lens, which means it's only one focal length. The EFS 18 to 135 f3.5 to 5.6 IS STM lens has the best all-around zoom range. This one is my personal favorite because of the versatility that comes from the extended zoom range. As we wrap up the first video in our 3-part series, let's briefly summarize a few of the important things to consider when shooting your first videos. Make sure AF and IS are turned on. For easy automated shooting, put the mode dial in the A+ position. Flip the power switch passed on to the video position. Press the movie shooting button to start and stop the video capture. Minimize your camera shake and consider using a tripod. Frame things wide and try not to do too much panning or zooming. Consider getting an STM lens so autofocusing is silent while filming. And remember that you can touch a spot on the screen to select what's in focus.
In our next video, we'll dig into some of the more advanced video settings and controls in your EOS Rebel camera, and we'll also cover a few more advanced tips for taking advantage of all those controls. We'll see you next time.